Manipur, a state plagued by years of insurgency, violent protests, bandhs, and human rights violations, was showing signs of healing. But sadly, with elections, the ugly shadow of violence is back. 5 people have been killed and several clashes have been reported across the state even before the dates were announced. On the receiving end are the innocent who just want a peaceful existence.
Money and muscle power are important to win elections, and in Manipur, politicians are not shy of using either. The state is witnessing unprecedented pre-poll violence. So why is this happening? And what is the root cause of such anger and lawlessness? We are here in Manipur to find out.
Ningthojam Premchandra, a resident of Hayrock in Manipur's Thobal district, is inconsolable. His 23-year-old son, Ningthojam Rohit, was shot and killed right before his eyes. He too was grievously injured.
Postana de Quendi Sambana Ras with the city to Pukat Minera Paneva. The Martian operation Tauraga Maruchi of Tokani, Tabak the Balaning on the Tam Bakasto Toroan. 4 days through Buganda, the Hydopira. Noniam Sapanating a Shiva photo, she Ubungam, the Venisa young anxious to talk with the Hanjalak of the I think talk about Toganing driver. One wonder them. Take it away more get away. Salandrea Mumatanda.
These bullet marks remind the family of the tragic day. On December 22, 2021, Rohit became the first victim of pre-poll violence in Manipur. A group of masked men burst into the courtyard of their home and fired indiscriminately, killing him and injuring his father. The target was Ningthojam Roshan, the eldest of the 3 brothers, who had left the BJP to join the Congress in 2019.
She hired a lady, Mojo, no may fire tower first. Although I do Widow Tokbangam day. I also reflect, no, how can I come? They are holding stick, knife, gun. How can I come out from? And I su kan biba ngamdre ade urasu aduga adum moy haraga minute 5 to 6 minutes khatane matam je incident da lawri je kape pale aduga tare makhara changsalaga phone pio haire moina phone piro haire aduga akhoi Masagi Jay Moina Wa Pile Wa Maka Aduga Krapure Nasagi Keno Sindo. They beat to my brothers and fathers again after shot. I think I changed my political party now because of this is the main reason. I think they attack to us. Then their gundas or walker over or MLA go directly to the road and shouting some things like, "We'll kill you, don't come out, we'll beat you, if you can come out."
On January 9, just after midnight in Samro, Imphal West, armed assailants shot and killed BJP worker Abujam John and Abujam Shashikant, a Jawan of the Indian Reserve Battalion who happened to be at the location. Shashikant's widow and his 1.5-year-old son face an uncertain future. The childhood sweethearts married in 2019 and were constructing their house when Shashikant was cruelly snatched away.
Yumsu laiba nate aigidi yumju sadri adu ma'am awab lai ima yumju mi ga taminna banate akhoi khatane yumji da laise mi atopam ta laiba nate yum ani si yum si yumji khatane ba adu ai nupa ji laitaba ji da akhoi huji na kai haidu no khang ma laitaba ai ja aigidi pra angang sina chawbo ding phai pikpanina aigidi mateng pangbinaba do kanambu leite hujik yamna waba ji yam waba mayongnari meyam masi tawri uriba meyamsini.
People in Manipur have suffered because of insurgency-related violence for decades now. Poll-related violence, however, has now begun to rear its ugly head.
The National Crime Records Bureau data records a steady rise in Manipur in political crimes since 2014. In 2015, the state reported 2 political crimes and 4 victims. In 2016, the same number of cases and 3 victims were reported. Assembly elections in 2017, however, saw a drastic 2,300% increase with 48 cases and 56 victims identified. This year, in the run-up to the 2022 elections, starting October 21, 25 cases have been registered and 5 people have been killed. Sophisticated weapons and even grenades were used in these attacks. Human Rights Alert, a Manipur-based non-governmental organization working towards monitoring, investigating and reporting human rights violations, found that no action was taken in 93% of these cases. Human rights activist and lawyer Pablo Loithongbam, who is the director of the NGO, says prosecution is abysmally low because the police force is geared towards maintaining insurgency-related law and order.
You see that whereas the average completion of investigation resulting into prosecution, all India average runs something like 64%. In the case of Manipur, it was just 4%. So the Manipur police has not been, there has been talk about separating investigation and law and order, and very unfortunately the police mechanism is used by their political forces, political bosses, and their role as a professional policing work in terms of investigating crime is traditionally very low.
Years of fighting militants has taken a toll on the police force. The force is well trained in counter-insurgency operations but lacks investigative skills.
Perhaps because they have also been geared up towards the counter-insurgency kind of operation, and thereby the level of control of the political bosses on the police is very tight, and they are not able to act independent of their political bosses as a professional organization.
On February 8, the National People's Party issued a statement that its candidates were being intimidated and threatened by militant outfits. They named the Kuki National Front United Kuki Liberation Front, Kuki National Army, and the Mar People's Convention Democracy. They claimed that the members of these outfits were moving around with arms, intimidating voters and village chiefs to vote for BJP candidates. Director General of Police of Manipur, P. Dongil, says they have received reports of militant groups intimidating voters mainly for money.
Yes, the militants are troubling most of the candidates, and then this is also the time in which they collect money from the candidates, and it is also a time when they want to show their presence, because there is a lot of movement of even common people. So with mixing along with the common people, they may go here and there and try to influence as well as carry out their acts.
It is also common for militants to hire drug addicts and petty criminals as hitmen, says Dongil. But an attack by trained militants would be more lethal and damaging.
For example, some of the grenades that are being hurled, we know very well it's not hurled by them, by their cadres, but by people who are drug addicts and other things. And there has also been people who have been caught and they are drug addicts only, but they have got guns and grenades with them, which is something that they cannot easily have access to.
Ahead of the polls, 37,000 police personnel, including home guards and village defense parties, have been deployed in various corners of Manipur. 300 companies of paramilitary forces will also be deployed in the state during the elections, and 100 have already arrived. Manipur police has also identified around 5,000 troublemakers, and this could go up to 10,000 as polling day gets closer.
It is very hard to read what is going on in a person's mind. That we can, even if we are present in good number in a particular area, if a person has made up something in his heart that he will do, which is not known to anyone and which we can't read, that becomes very difficult. But of course, through all this liaising with the people, asking them what their problems are, and then following up immediately with search and cordon and other verification work, we try to sort of make it as much as violence-free as possible.
Deputy Chief Minister of Manipur, Yumnam Joy Kumar Singh, says the onus should be on all parties to see that there is no violence in the state during elections. His party, the NPP, is contesting independently in the 2022 Assembly elections.
You were at the forefront when insurgency was at its peak in Manipur. But now gradually the focus has shifted from insurgency to pre-poll violences. The number of instances have also gone up. But we hardly see any responsibility taken by the political parties. But at the same time, is the onus also not on the political parties to keep the party supporters and the party workers controlled and not indulge in any kind of political violence?
You hit the nail on its head. Definitely, the political parties must take the responsibility. NPP, on our part, we have always restrained our cadres not to take to violence, even if they are provoked. It is becoming very difficult for us to restrain. If you check up which is the party which has been indulging in this pre-poll violence. So that and another thing is also police. In most of the cases, remains a mere spectators rather.
Is there pressure from the political system on police?
That may be. Otherwise, why should say some incident take place? We report. Those are not being registered. What does it indicate?
Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh himself gave the impression that poll violence constitutes a threat. However, he played the blame game with no accountability.
What is your government doing to control the poll violence?
All, देखो, it is monitoring by the election commission, and the government, state government also supporting to contain it, because you know election में जो desperate group जो है, desperate जो group जो है जो सोच रहा है कि we are going to defeat, वो लोग violence में आ रहा है, तो just we are trying to control it. Don't worry.
Thonaujam Brinda, a former cop turned politician, blames the government for its inability to control violence. She resigned from Manipur police in 2016, alleging ill treatment, humiliation, and selective harassment by her superiors.
When the government has been misgoverning the state, there has to be undue influence, and there is a lot of use of money and muscle power in the state, hence lots of violence. So this shows that the votes that are being garnered are not given on free and fair consent. This is the problem. The problem starts with the governance and the state of affair. It has to be the government which has to start the process.
The Chief Electoral Officer of Manipur, Rajesh Agrawal, says that due to the small size of constituencies, the competition is very fierce and results in violence.
There has been some instances of pre-poll violence before the announcement of elections, and also some after the announcement of election. But having said that, there has been no major incident, there has been no major loss of life after announcement of elections on 8th January.
All the 5 deaths in Manipur were recorded before the election dates were announced. The Election Commission also launched the Sea Vigil app to help citizens promptly report unlawful campaigning activities and violation of the Model Code of Conduct. In the last 30 days, 400 complaints have been lodged.
Violence is not new to Manipur, but poll violence is, and it's rising steadily. The use of sophisticated weapons in isolated incidents makes it difficult for the police to stop and investigate these crimes. The role of militants cannot be ruled out, and there's a political nexus that no one will speak of. Amid the violent political potboiler is the innocent that gets caught.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to EastMojo. For any queries, put them down in the comments section below and press on the bell icon for notifications.